These are a very unusual and seemingly rare type of direction finder. The radio direction finder has no compass. It's actually built into a straight edge ruler. It's actually very large, as you can see, because it needed to be. I guess they were built in the late 1960s through the 70s. But the purpose of it was to eliminate a step in direction finding. You wouldn't need to take your bearing to an antenna, to a signal source, and then plot it on your chart. You could plot directly on the chart. So what I've done here is I've plotted a local antenna. This is WLNA in peak scale, and I've got it tuned to WLNA.
You can repair.
And what you would do is you would turn. You would have your you would have to have your chart lined up with the north actually facing true north. First of all, and this is a problem on boats where the boat would vary or drift. You know, and most boats, even at anchor, are going to drift quite a bit. So it makes them actually very impractical. Although it seems like a very good idea, it's very impractical because your boat is going to be rotating. Now, obviously, it's not. My kitchen isn't rotating, so I'm able to demonstrate how this works. You would then line up the known position on the chart of the antenna. You would then find the null. You can see the signal strength dips here. If you need to, you can adjust the gain on it until you find a nice clean null. And then you make sure that that's aligned with your antenna. And once you have your null, you can then plot on the chart. It's hard to do while I'm holding the camera. Through your antenna. And as it turns out, I live pretty much along this line. It's off by about a few hundred feet where I live up here. So that's actually very normal for using one of these on land. They weren't intended. You have hills and mountains and things like that and other anomalies that will send the signal a little bit. It'll skew the signal a little bit. But basically you could plot directly on the chart using an actual radio ruler. It's probably the only radio ruler that was ever produced, and it was produced for that purpose. But again, very impractical because your boat's going to be drifting. What are you going to do? You're going to be down in your navigation table and have to constantly readjust your chart as you're trying to plot because your boat's, you know, slewing a few degrees either way, and your plots are going to constantly be inaccurate. A great idea, but fairly impractical.